Hey everybody, and welcome to the next edition of the Soccer Fitness Goals video blog. It's been a while since I've posted one of these, and that's because last week I was away at the 5th World Conference on Science and Soccer in Rennes, France, presenting some of my research. Got my name tag here to prove it. Now, these conferences are put on every couple of years, and they're aimed at academics, sports scientists, and also practitioners, so that means soccer coaches and soccer fitness coaches. And of course, the broad topic is science and soccer, or sports science related to soccer, but there are many individual topics that are presented, including biomechanics, exercise physiology, match analysis and performance analysis, motor learning, talent identification, youth soccer training, female soccer, and many more. And so the topic of the blog this week is going to be to discuss what I would consider to be something that frustrates me when I go to these conferences, and also something that I think really is a take-home message to Canadian soccer coaches and Canadian fitness coaches. So first of all, before we get into that, I'd just like to say I did mention that I did go to the conference to present my research, and if anybody's interested in the work that I've done, as well as some of the colleagues that I collaborated with, the presentations that we made, what we'll do right now is we'll post a link right here underneath me with the link to my website in the Our Research section, where you can download PDF copies of the posters that we presented, and these are posters that summarize our research studies. So if you're interested in that, you can click the link now. So now, getting on to the topic of the blog this week, and that is the take-home message that I got from this conference, and again, something that I said frustrates me a little bit, and that is that there have not been, in the past 10 years that I've been attending these conferences, and I've been to 7 different conferences, that there have not been any Canadian soccer coaches or Canadian fitness coaches in attendance other than the people that I've gone with. And I'll mention that this time I traveled with a colleague and a good friend of mine, Farzad Yousefian, who runs a business called Sport Performance Analytics Inc., and they do performance analytics there, including match analysis and analysis of training load using heart rate and GPS. And the other younger sports scientist that traveled with me was Jessica Triumbari, who was a research assistant of mine and helped out with a lot of the data collection for some of the studies that we did. So the 3 of us are 3 Canadians that went to this conference. However, as I said, we're the only ones. No Canadians from the Canadian Soccer Association or any of the provincial soccer associations, and no Canadians representing any of our professional clubs, Toronto FC, Montreal Impact, Vancouver Whitecaps, or even the NASL clubs, the FC Edmonton and the Ottawa Fury. Nobody was there. And the reason that this frustrates me so much is because our soccer programs in Canada, and I would include the professional clubs as well as the national teams programs, are struggling, especially our men's programs. Last time I checked, I believe we're ranked about 117th in the world on the men's side. And when I go to these conferences, I see people from all over the world, from all over Europe, from Japan, from Australia, from England, from South America. And it's not just the everyday coaches that are coming, it's sports scientists, fitness coaches, and even soccer coaches from some of the biggest clubs and national teams in the world. There were several fitness coaches from women's and men's national teams, people that work with clubs, big clubs like Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona. They've got sports scientists and fitness coaches that are attending these conferences, presenting their research, a lot of them, but others are just delegates, and they're going to learn, to pick up what they can pick up from some of the other experts from around the world, to network, to try to check the validity of the work that they're doing and get suggestions. It's the same reason, one of the main reasons why I go, is to try to talk to some of the people that are working at a higher level than me, that are smarter than me, and try to get advice and see what I can learn. And I think a lot of that comes from just being a little bit humble and accepting the fact that you don't know everything and you don't have all the answers. And it's what led me to go to these conferences, and I'm sure it's what leads a lot of other people to go. But as I said, nobody's representing Canada at these conferences, and to me that represents a problem in the Canadian soccer system. And that problem is that I just don't think that the coaches and the fitness coaches that are working here in Canada are humble enough. And it's something that can easily be fixed. It just requires people to come a little bit out of their comfort zone, acknowledge the fact that they really don't have all the answers, and that there's a good chance that some of the methods that they're using to train their athletes, and I would include not just physical training but also technical and tactical training, because again, a lot of the topics that are discussed at these conferences have nothing to do with physical training. They're more about motor learning, youth development, talent identification, things that have a direct application to the work that coaches do. So our coaches need to be humble, need to at least consider the idea that they don't have all the answers, and that there's a possibility that they can improve on some of the work that they do, and start registering and attending sports science conferences. I like the fact that there's been a lot of coaching conferences, especially even some of the most recent ones in Canada that are run out of the University of Toronto. And you do have coaches that go and present there, but typically the presentations are limited to training sessions and things that are applicable directly to the field, rather than some of the actual science and the scientific rationale and the evidence behind why those training methods are so important. And that's where I think the link between sports science and research and practitioners is really important. And the only way for Canadian soccer coaches and fitness coaches to bridge that gap and link the research to the actual practitioners, the coaches and the fitness coaches, is for those practitioners to learn more of the science and to attend conferences like this, where they're exposed to literally the world's leading scientists researching in soccer. So in conclusion, if you are a soccer coach working at any level, or certainly if you're a fitness coach working in soccer at any level, you need to make sure that you attend the next conference on science and soccer, or science and football. And I'll tell you when it is. It's going to be in 2 years. It's the World Congress on Science and Football. This is the biggest sports science conference in the world. It's done every 4 years in the year after the World Cup. So it's going to be in 2019. They do it in the year after the World Cup because they're trying to showcase a lot of the research and analysis from the World Cup. And it's going to be in Melbourne, Australia. And we'll put up the link underneath me now so you can see the link to the website for that Congress. And as I said, if you're a Canadian soccer coach or Canadian fitness coach that works in soccer, you need to make sure that you register for that conference as a delegate, because if you don't improve your experience, expand upon your knowledge, and make yourself better by learning from the experts around the world, then the information that you provide to the players you work with and the training you deliver to those players may not be optimal to maximize their development. And in the end, if we don't have more coaches that are humble, that are more willing to learn, and that go out of their comfort zone in order to learn, then we're not going to be able to develop players to the best of our capability, and we're going to be stuck at 117th in the world for a lot longer than we should be. So that's it for the Soccer Fitness Goals video blog for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and you can do it by clicking on the link here, or you can click on this other link if you'd like to download our Soccer Fitness Goals mobile fitness app, which is the world's only soccer-specific, customized, individualized, at-home training program for soccer players or athletes of any age and level of ability. We'll see you next week, and until then, keep reaching your soccer fitness goals.